Grey skies and the ominous threat of rain with tumbling temperatures did not diminish the anticipation ahead of this mighty stage on La Vuelta. Destination Covadonga, and a pensive mood amongst the pack before we got going. Hardly surprising. Today's course, a mighty one. The first of back-to-back stages, including a special finish. This, though, up to Covadonga, one of the legendary tests of La Vuelta. Well, 2 Category 1 climbs before we even reach that point, and a Category 3 that would demand a breakaway. Well, the pace was such, and indeed the danger of a breakaway going all the way, that so many teams had an option, and as a result we looked like we were having a sprint for the entire day. Caruso and Bardet duked it out for mountains points at the very first test, but really it was the high ground that would pose many questions, but who would have the answers? Trentin looks like he's bidding for a place in the World Championship team for Italy, and we had various incarnations of various size of breakaway and some great individual performances as well. Mikel Landa looked to be back at his best, which bode very well for Bahrain Victorious. Stora looking good as well, hoovering up some mountains points. Not so good for this man. Odd Christian Eiking in red, starting to struggle, and when the rain came, and indeed the climbs and the descents started to look a bit more treacherous, and of course it was to take some big bites out of plenty of ambitions. The pace really was what accounted for most disappointing performances. In the gloom, a bright effort by Bernal. He pushed on with 60 kilometres to go. Who would be strong enough or willing to follow him? Just one man, Primož Roglic. Well, it was a fighting force of 2, but how long would the alliance last? They were sharing their duties beautifully and pushed away from a group including all of the pre-race favourites. The chase, well, engaged fully by Bahrain Victorious. They were trying, so were Movistar. But to what avail? Bernal on one of the descents, a warning for him having to unclip, and indeed a warning that should have been heeded by others. Odd Christian Eiking taking a tumble and finding others fallen, including Vlasov. Well, the red jersey was already virtually off the shoulders of Eiking and onto those of Primož Roglic. But working with Bernal, Bernal was taking a big leap over his rivals who were in the chasing group. So what would Lopez do? What would Mas do? Guillaume Martin, who had hoped to hang on to second place at least, especially with Odd Christian Eiking taking a tumble, he went backwards, and so ultimately did Bernal. Roglic pushed on, glory in his mind, a third stage win, and as emphatic a statement of his prowess as you're likely to see. So who would push on out of that group of favourites? Enric Mas has looked lively, likewise his teammate Miguel Angel Lopez. Would they catch Bernal? Almost the ultimate slap in the face after a superb effort. He was indeed wound in, and it was Sepp Kuss that wanted to make it a 1-2 for Jumbo-Visma. We knew that Roglic was going to take the day, but by what margin? In the end, it was a handsome one. He roared at the grey sky, almost with disdain, and it was a 3-up sprint for the line. Miguel Angel Lopez, Adam Yates and Sepp Kuss, who hoovered up the second place bonus seconds, making sure they were denied to the rivals of his teammate Roglic. Adam Yates with a good finish, likewise Jack Haig. But king of the hill, Primož Roglic. Well, a superb performance, underscoring his greatness, which all the other riders did acknowledge. Kuss, his teammate, in second place ahead of Miguel Angel Lopez, Adam Yates, Jack Haig, Mas Bernal in 7th, ahead of Mada, Menkes and Chapoussin. Odd Christian Eiking, bravely home, but 9 minutes and more in arrears. It was goodbye to the red jersey, but said later he'd had fun. So did Primož Roglic today. The man in red, and in control of this race with yet another stage win. He leads by 2 minutes and 22 ahead of Mas and Lopez, who have to make a move on stage 18. Bernal's efforts to move up the order coming to naught on the day, but what a brave try it was. Adam Yates in 7th place, 4 minutes and 45 down, ahead of Kuss and Grosshartner, who fell today and did well to make his way back in. So, on to the Gomontiero, another looping stage and another special finish. They call it the sister of the Angliru. Let us see whether that is true. It certainly looks a real test. So who is going to set the questions for Roglic to answer? We shall wait and see. Another great day on the Vuelta awaits.